Hi, my name is David Batsoffen, and I host a travel blog called Travel and Things. And sitting at home, being a non-travel travel writer, I decided to get some of the people that I enjoy dealing with to come and chat to me online and tell me about what it is that they're doing in order to keep themselves and their businesses afloat during these very strange times. And my first guest today is the general manager of the FotoFirst franchises in South Africa. That's Brett Skolmen. But before I introduce Brett, I want to read a quote from a Netflix movie called Kodachrome. And the character says, "People are taking more pictures than ever before, billions of them. But there are no slides, no prints, just data, electronic dust. Years from now, when they dig us up, there won't be any pictures to find, no record of who we were or how we lived." Brett, is that accurate? Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Things.
Good morning, and thanks for having me, David. Yes, I think it's totally accurate. People still print in small quantities, but compared to what was being printed in the Kodachrome and Kodak days, it's a tiny, tiny percentage. So yes, it's data dust. It's sitting in the cloud somewhere or on hard drives, old DVDs lying in cupboards with pictures on that nobody looks at or views anymore. And that obviously concerns us at FotoFirst. And we honestly believe printing out your pictures is a way to archive them properly for up to 100 years into the future and for your grandkids to enjoy. So yes, it's a phenomenon that we would like to turn around, and we can chat about that now to see how we're going to do that.
All right, so talk to us about the FotoFirst franchise. You guys have been in lockdown since the 27th of March. It's day 48 now. I have to preface all of this by saying I don't understand this lockdown anymore. I don't understand why you can't buy open-toed shoes, but you can buy pajamas. Why you can't buy cigarettes, but you can buy a pie. I really don't understand. And I do believe that specifically now, with the way we find ourselves, that photo shops like FotoFirst are an essential service. People need to have a memory of what's going on, and as you said, in hard copy, not just on a cloud somewhere that may die on us in a few weeks' time.
I think that's the dilemma we have at the moment, is that I believe it's an essential service, and certainly when it comes to things like passport ID photographs, although people can't travel, that's a necessity. We're not only photo printers, we print documents and things like that as well. And certainly printing for schoolwork, homeschooling is very, very important now. So we have those facilities in our stores, and we do have the permits to allow us to trade. But, our business is about photo printing and imaging. And to open a store, in a regional mall where we're going to be making photocopies and doing IDs only, it's a small part of our business. It's really not worthwhile. If we open, we want to open, with a bang and make sure that all our printing services, as well as our hardware and products are available to sell, our cameras and that. So we will not open until we can basically sell everything that we can in our stores.
You mean like one of these? He says, holding up
printed mugs.
Printed mugs. See, FotoFirst. There you go. I think, Brett, your graphics people need to come up with some sort of COVID-19, I survived or something like that. And every time you buy a photo book, you get a mug with it that says, I survived this.
That's a superb idea. We'll get that done, David.
So what is FotoFirst? Let's look at the scenario pre the 27th of March. What was it that FotoFirst offered that kept you guys in business in malls around the country?
We're really one of the last photographic franchises in South Africa. There's obviously Kodak Express as well. But we are the strongest, and we've got the biggest footprint of about 45 stores. And basically what we do is we print memories, we print photographs, but differently to the way it was done in the past, which was really printing small photographs and sticking them in an album. So nowadays, obviously, yes, we still print standard size photographs and people can stick them into albums, but it's really expanded on that, and people are printing larger pictures to frame and hang on their walls. They're printing canvas pictures. They're printing photo books, which we'll talk about just now. where you can have a collection of 100 to 200 pictures in one book. And that's not individual pictures that are printed and stuck in. That's a layout of a page that is stuck into a book, and can be 20 to 80 pages. So those are the kind of things we do. It's not only about printing standard photographs anymore. And funnily enough, the people that actually do enjoy printing continue to print and have actually increased their print spends over the years. So printing is not dead by no means.
And do you still do film printing? I mean, I've got, he says, reaching for a roll of film, bought from FotoFirst. I have to say, there we go.
Away your age there.
No. It was bought relatively recently. I just haven't had the opportunity to run it through my camera. But are there still people who are using film, and more importantly, using transparencies?
Okay, so transparency film is all but dead. That slide developing, it's an E6 process, which is quite an involved chemical process to develop that film. But your standard, print film has shown some kind of a revival over the last few years, and people are buying up old metal body film cameras again and having that nostalgia of that old-fashioned shutter click and getting images without actually seeing them first. And we've seen a revival there. So yes, we still do sell films in our stores, and we do develop them. However, there's only a few sites for developing. So if you are in an outlying area, you would have to send it into a central area like Joburg, where they get developed and scanned, if you want, to a CD, and printed and then sent back to the destination store. So yes, still available, but not available as a 1-hour service anymore, certainly.
Okay, so I know that you've got some props either on your desk or at your feet somewhere over there. So talk us through what you've brought to show the viewers, I suppose, for want of a better term today. I know that you've got, are those all Pentax cameras behind you? Just as a matter of interest. 90%
of them are metal body Pentax cameras. That's what I like to collect. But because over the years I've collected so many, I've started collecting a few old Canons and Hasselblads and things like that as well. But yes, the majority is Pentax, which is my first love when it comes to camera brands.
You mentioned Hasselblads, and we'll get onto that ballerina that you're holding in front of you in just a moment. Do you know that there are 12 Hasselblads lying on the moon at the moment? They were all left behind by the various moon landings. They didn't bring the cameras back with them.
That's bizarre. I hope they brought the films back.
Well, I'm hoping so. How do you take film? Oh, those probably just have the back on, so you just remove the back and leave the body behind.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
I suppose when you
can I speak about this old album I've got here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, back in the 80s as such, and before,
yeah,
we used to buy these horrible acid-based photo albums, and then basically print your pictures and stick them in.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the glue that was used in these pages actually did change the color of these images. And over time, they would go like a purple magenta color.
That's now become a 60s filter on your smartphone.
Exactly. So some people do like that. And I mean, this album here, for example, is about 35 years old. This is my wife and her brother. And these pictures are still stuck here for everybody to enjoy. And they will be for a number of years to come. So printing and viewing your pictures in an album is obviously still very, very popular and is something I recommend. And then obviously today, there's various kind of albums available. And although you're still sticking in your photos, you haven't got that plastic intersleeve going over it. What you have got is something like this, which is an acid-free page, which goes between the photo pages to stop them rubbing against each other, firstly, and also to stop oxygen getting in. So your pictures would last easily 100, 120 years in an album like this.
How do you stick those photographs to the pages, Brett?
Look, there's various ways. This is a Henzo album, and basically you just get a special glue that you can stick them in with, which is acid-free as well. Or you get a tape runner, which is like a sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape that goes in the back. And some people use photo corners, which I don't really like.
Do they still manufacture photo corners?
They do. They do. Clear ones now, not the black.
No, you've got to have those fancy black, gold and silver ones that that form part of the image of my youth anyway.
I think looking at the revival of the retro film printing and those kind of things might show their face in how to present your photos going forward.
Right.
Obviously, when it comes to photo albums, like I've showed you now, that is still your conventional printing. But as mentioned earlier, photo books is really where the market is going now. So this is a typical photo book, which is a personalized cover book.
Yeah.
And if you look at what it looks like here, you've got your pictures presented on a page, which is designed with software that is generally for free. You download it for free, create your book. And this is really like the scrapbooking of the 90s. This is creating your own artwork. Some pictures can be full page. Some pictures can go across 2 pages. And this is really an exciting part of our business, where people sit at home and design their books in their own time, collect pictures, and then we print them for them. And this is where the lockdown comes into effect as such, is because you can create a book like this at home because you've got extra time now. And we have actually opened up our production facility now.
Okay.
And we can actually print and deliver this to your home now during lockdown. So that is something to consider.
That's a great idea when it comes to this time, and as a reminder, because maybe a year, 2 years down the line, we're going to have forgotten all about this and the madness that we endured for however the lockdown goes on. So this is a great way of keeping those memories to pass down to generations who may only read about it in a history book when they're in school generations from now.
Well, I would agree with you there. I mean, you obviously can make an album like this from a holiday that you had that you haven't got around to printing yet, or you can create a lockdown album, which is all the meals you've prepared. Maybe dad or mom has grown their hair much longer than they normally would, and that's a good memory of your overgrown garden because your gardener hasn't arrived for work. And all these memories can be put in a book, and you can have a lockdown album. I mean, that's a great idea. But essentially, you've got the time now to create a book from the past, from your kids growing up, or from a special holiday you've had. You've got the time to lay it out, and we would obviously print it for you.
Are you able to write copy that can be added into that? In other words, you've got an image. You know, at the moment on Facebook, they're doing these challenges where it says post a picture of X, but with no explanation, which I find really stupid, because then why bother to post the picture? It's meaningful to you, to nobody else. But are you able in those photo books to add copy so that if I want to write a story about an image, I'm able to do that?
Absolutely, David. So if you look at, I mean, I don't know how well your viewers can see this, but this is an album we did for our family of a Thailand visit that we did. And this, I mean, this is obviously special to us, and we didn't put text in this book. But where you see photographs, there is a space for text either over the picture or a block underneath. You can do an entire page of text and have photographs on the other side. So the sky's the limit. You can put pictures in the background. You can have black borders, white borders, as much text as you want. You can create the book the way you want to create it.
And size-wise, are you limited? You mentioned something about 20 to 80 pages. Is that sort of the bottom and top end of what you guys print out?
There's different books available, obviously, from small books, softcover books, which start at the A5 size, which is really half of what we've got here. The A4 that I'm showing you here, personalized cover, is the most popular size by far because it's relatively compact. And this is about a 60-page book. As you can see, it's not very thick. But this kind of book will be able to go to about 80 pages quite comfortably. We can push that because the spine width can be increased, obviously. So you can make it a bit bigger, but I wouldn't go more than 80 pages. I mean, remember, we're talking about a lot of pictures going onto each page. So you're talking about hundreds of pictures over an 80-page book, hundreds and hundreds. So I think it's more than adequate. But popular size is definitely this one. And we also do a 30 by 30 centimeter square, which is the same width as this, but obviously it's square, so it stands about that high. And that is also very, very popular.
So people refer to these large books as coffee table books. My question is, if I don't have a coffee table, do those books come with legs so that I can turn the book into the coffee table, Brett?
No, they don't, but I'm sure somebody can design something like that. Can I just quickly show you? I mean,
yes, please.
This book is one of our standard books. These start at about 450 Rand for a book like this. Printed as is with a personalized cover. And basically, as you can see, you've got quite, I hope you can see, quite thinnish pages. Much like I wouldn't say a magazine page, it's thicker than a magazine page, but you can fit 60 to 80 pages in something like this. And then we go over to your coffee table book, which would be more or less something like this, which, as you can see, is a lot thicker.
Okay.
And this is called a coffee table lay flat book. So if you look at it, firstly, it lays totally flat. You haven't got that bulge in the page you do with standard.
Okay.
So that's quite nice for layouts that go right over the page. And this is printed on photographic paper, not on laser printed paper.
Right.
And these pages are quite thick and board-like. So they haven't got the texture of a magazine kind of paper. And these are considered to be the coffee table books. So these kind of books are very popular for weddings and that sort of thing. Firstly, because they're printed on photographic paper, which we just spoke about, can last 80, 100 years quite easily.
Yeah.
Picture quality is better. And of course, the way you page through a book like this with these big, sort of heavy pages gives you an idea you've got some real quality in your hands. So
and
this
again,
is the next level
add, you in Paris.
Yeah, this is a few years ago when I was still a young man.
Yeah, when we were able to travel, because strictly speaking, if this was not lockdown, Brett, I wouldn't be able to talk to you today because I'm meant to be in Thailand as we speak.
Oh, well, we all got to suffer, David.
I know, what can I say? Now, on those books, can you also add copy? On that book you've just shown me.
It's exactly the same software you use, which allows you to, add unlimited text. But obviously, it's just which book you decide to print out at. So you can choose personalized covers or plain covers, lay flat books, or your standard type photo books.
All right, so sticking with that, if people who are watching this go, all right, that's a good idea, how do they go about A, downloading the software, and B, about putting the book together, getting it to you, and then getting it back from you?
Okay, during lockdown, it's actually very, very easy. Firstly, you just go to our photo book site, which is...
Hold on 1 second, Brett. We've got a chopper going over. That's not my Uber. That's not my Uber arriving, I promise you.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that noise has disappeared now. All right, so you were saying.
All right, so it's a pretty simple process. You go onto our website. It's FotoFirst, photo book, all lowercase, no spaces obviously in between, .co.za. So FotoFirst, photobook.co.za. And then on the homepage, you'll see it'll say download software. So basically you download the software onto your desktop, whether it be Mac or Windows. And then it's a very, very easy process of just dragging your pictures into the pages, creating layouts or templates that are shown at the bottom of the page. And look, when you first started, it can be slightly confusing, but within 3 or 4 pages of layout, you'd have the hang of it. And you create your pages like that. Once you're done, you upload the book to us. So, depending on how big the book is, it can be 500 megabytes if it's a big book. So you need to have some upload speed. But basically, you upload it, pay for it online, and we deliver it back to your house within about 7 days or so.
And if you've made a mistake, you've added an image, and then, like most of us who've got thousands of images, you've then found a better image. Can you remove and replace before you send it off to you?
Absolutely. So the only time that your book is final is once it's uploaded, because it compresses all those pictures onto the pages, creates PDFs of each page, and that is what's uploaded to our printing service. So basically, if you're designing and you're on page 40 and you find a picture that you should have used on page 20, just go back and sort it out. Easy as that.
Okay, and at the end of the day, copy is the same. You can go back. You can fiddle with that. Do you have the option of different fonts, or is there just one font for the book?
It pulls the font from your computer. So depending on how many fonts you've got standard on your desktop, that's absolutely available. And different sizes. You can go big font. You can go tiny text if you want to print or create a story. You can put a lot of words on each page, or a big heading at the top if you like. All
right. So now I'm going to put you on the spot, because this question has just popped into my head. And if people have just joined or have just started watching, I'm talking to the general manager of the FotoFirst franchise here in South Africa. That's Brett Skolmen. Brett, back in the days when I used to take my pictures to be developed to Burmeisters in Port Elizabeth, company that's long gone. There was always the question of, what have you got on these rolls, David? Where are the naked pictures? Have you got, and I know that you put the stuff through a machine now. Have you had it where people have arrived and gone, listen, we've got a really interesting book we want to put together, but it's naked pictures of myself and my wife, or my husband and I, or whatever the case might be. Do you have any, not moral qualms, are there any ethics that keep you from printing certain images?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, in the old days, like we keep on going back to the old days. But when I was running FotoFirst stores as a regional manager back in the day, pre-94, the police were very strict on printing any kind of nudity, and we were certainly not allowed to do it. And if caught, we could get big fines. So in those days, it was generally frowned upon. But people would sneak in one or two onto each roll. And going through an automatic processor, they might be lost in the wind as such. But when it comes to photo books, obviously, it's people's memories and it's their personal property, and things have become a lot more liberal, lately. So a bit of nudity or classic poses and that sort of thing is not an issue if it's a couple or something like that. But obviously pornography, definitely not.
Yeah.
And they have come through. I mean, obviously we receive whatever is uploaded. And unfortunately, we've got to send a little letter back to the consumer saying, unfortunately, this is undesirable for printing, and we will not be able to do that. But it doesn't happen that often. People understand that if they're going to send that through to us, that's something that we might not be able to print. So yeah, if it's subtle, yes. If it borders on pornography, bad nudity, etc., we will not print it, David.
And what about you're running off a photo book, and you come across an image that is so stunning and so spectacular, you believe that this needs to be seen by everybody. Would you go back to that particular consumer and say, listen, your image of is so beautiful, can we buy it? Can we use it for advertising purposes? Have you thought about entering this in a competition type of thing?
Unfortunately not. It's quite an automated process. So as I said, the images come through as PDFs, which aren't viewable when they're received. And then they go into a print queue, which is collated to the amount of pages, the person's name, the order number, etc. So the only people that really view those images are the staff that actually glue and produce the books,
okay.
At the production level. So nobody else really sees them. And a worker in our factory line that's looking at pictures might personally think, wow, this is a fantastic photo book. But he's not going to reach out to management to contact the client and say, wow, you should print a canvas of that. Unfortunately, it's become that way. If you're doing 30, 40, 50 books a day, there's no way to spend time on each individual page and compliment people on there. But yeah, I think it would be fantastic if you could. People would be impressed to hear somebody saying, wow, you've got some great pictures in your book. At the same time, they might think you're invading their privacy by looking at their personal pictures.
I'm just trying to think. Oh, it was the Robin Williams movie, Being There, where he plays a really weird person who runs the photographic department at a Walmart or a Kmart, and he starts living vicariously through the photographs that he's developing. But he takes it to the nth degree, where he starts stalking the families and going into their homes when they're not there, because he believes that he's part of their family.
That was a brilliant movie. I think it was called 1 Hour, David.
Was it 1 Hour? Being There. You're right, because Being There was Peter Sellers playing the gardener, Chauncey Gardner. Yeah. You're quite right.
So I think it was called 1 Hour, and it was about a manager of a Walmart photo lab. And him and looking through people's personal pictures and becoming interested in them or their families, and then stalking them. And I don't know if that's a reality or not. Obviously, it was a movie, but that was quite a disturbing show. That I can remember watching it and thinking, "Wow, this is scary stuff." So yeah. Obviously, in the old days, staff would look at everybody's pictures. As they're getting printed and batched, and it is personal memories, and it's for the consumer, really, for the people that have developed those pictures for their own consumption and to be looked at for years to come.
Brett, what else does FotoFirst offer? What else have you got squirreled away beneath your sort of arm line where you're sitting? What else have you got to show us?
Well, obviously we print canvas printing. I haven't got a canvas print with me right now, but canvas printing is very, very popular. It gives you like an oil painting effect. I don't know if you've got.
Yeah, I have, but the problem with the one I've got is huge, so it won't fit in here to show people.
Yeah, so canvas printing has become very, very popular because I mean it's stretched over a wooden frame, and you just hang it on a wall on a nail. It's as simple as that, and you can swap it out very, very easily. So that is really an important part of our business, canvas printing, and we do a lot of that. And then obviously, you know, we're not going to speak about cameras too much today, but cameras and the selling of equipment and accessories of cameras is an important part of our business. Although it's a business that has declined quite substantially over the last 5 years, it's still an important business to us, and we still do sell cameras. And the camera business is developing a lot into different niches and realistically becoming popular. And of course, the cell phone industry has taken over when it comes to cameras, because every mobile phone has got a camera in it.
Yep.
And that's also something I'd like to discuss briefly, if possible, David.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. So, I mean, basically, during the lockdown, people can't go into our stores and print pictures. But we have got quite a new online site that is dedicated to printing from mobile phones. And also, the nice thing about it is you can view the pictures on your phone. You can choose, crop, choose quantities and enlargement sizes, send it up to us. I think you've got it there. Well, there you go. Thanks for downloading the app. So that app, David, is available on your desktop at app.photofirst.co.za, and then as a download on your Android and Apple phones. And that just allows you to choose your pictures very, very easily, send them via the cloud to our printers, and we print them out without you having to come into the store. Obviously, you collect it in your own time. But what we are looking at now is we don't know how long the lockdown is going to last. We are going to start offering home deliveries at a small fee. So you can print your pictures from your mobile phone, and we will deliver them back to your house. So that's a work in progress. We hope we have it up and running quite soon. But anybody wanting to print high-quality pictures from mobile phones, which is where the majority of the population take their pictures now, please have a look at our app. It's FotoFirst. If you type in FotoFirst into your app store, it'll come up right at the top, and you can download it and have a look, and it's great. The big advantage of printing now or choosing pictures now during lockdown is you've got a special that you can have 50% off all enlargement sizes.
I was just about to ask you if FotoFirst is running any sort of lockdown specials, and there you've answered my question.
Yeah, so I mean, it allows you to print up to A3 photo prints at 50% of the normal price. So that's a massive saving, and it's just to incentivize people, you know, while they've got time to browse through the millions of pictures on their phones, choose the special ones, make some enlargements, and then after the lockdown, hopefully frame them somewhere that's selling nice frames. Like us, we also sell arranged frames, obviously.
You do indeed.
So that's the idea.
I'm just thinking, Brett, when you say 50% off, I have visions of an envelope arriving with half photographs, because you've taken 50% of the image off.
No, just as an example, I mean, our 8x12, which is an A4 photo print, normally goes for 36 Rand, and we're selling them for 18 Rand, and that's printed on Fuji Supreme photographic paper, which is an archival paper, and that paper is good for 80 to 100 years. So you're getting an A4 enlargement size, which will look great in a frame, for $18, and I think it's a bargain, and really should be looked at. If somebody that maybe doesn't print and would like to test prints or print quality, it's a good idea to do that. And let's face it, the mobile phones of today really take excellent quality photographs. You can really go big on the photos.
I was just looking at the new Huawei P40 Lite. That has got a 48 megapixel camera on board, which is as big as the Pentax K1.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
it's totally bizarre.
It is, but it's bizarre beyond belief, because the only thing it doesn't have that none of these cell phone cameras have is you can't go into the bush, and what would be a 600 or a 560 or even one of those 1200 mm lenses, you're not going to get an elephant. If you're in Joburg, you can't photograph elephants in Pretoria Zoo with a cell phone. You can do it with a 1200 mm lens, perhaps, and at least get some reasonable quality. But I think that's where the next, I don't know, evolution in cell phone cameras might be. but certainly not in digital, because those lenses are already available at a cost, obviously.
Yeah, so I mean, cell phone cameras, the new iPhone, I think, has got 3 or 4 lenses, and at least one of them is a telephoto lens. But I mean, in our 35mm terms, it will probably be a 105 or a 135mm. So certainly not strong enough to shoot in the bush. And thank goodness, because that has saved the photographic industry. You know, if you want a certain application, you have to still buy a camera and lenses to go with it. But the general population, family photos and that, then obviously a cell phone is adequate.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to come back and chat about that on a different occasion. We're going to talk lenses and camera bodies and that type of thing, because people don't really know, but I don't want to get into that at the moment. So at the moment, we're looking at online for FotoFirst, which is
www.photofirstphotobook.co.za. And on the desktop, it's app.photofirst.co.za. That's the online printing application.
And FotoFirst is FOTO, not PHOTO.
Yes. FOTO.
Yeah. Brett, thank you so much for chatting to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I don't know where you find yourself currently. If you are at home, thank the people at home for not making a noise while we chat. And you and I will definitely catch up again.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me. Enjoy your day.